my Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your timeless work, career, vocation read. I am your reader. Mars conjunct Leo rising, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short. They are my initials. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Joining the Circle Productions. Since 1998, 24 years in service at the time of this timeless recording. I am the author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle. There's a link in the description box. You can preview it for free. That may be my written legacy unless I write another book, so you might want to check it out if you like. And I am a creator on Patreon, patreon.com/Drawing the Circle, a lovely subscription service for creators and artists, creative types of many different ways, shapes, and forms. Leo, 5th house, creativity and good fortune. So I'm loving it over there. I got humans, heroes, angels, witches, immortals, gods, goddesses as my current levels of subscription. Streaming there at the time of this recording. I'm going to add mystics sooner or later. I'm there pretty much every morning. Cup of coffee, bathrobe, hair doing what it's going to do, but I'm Leo rising, so it ain't that bad. Talking about the day's astrological weather and a daily check-in, the spiritual implications, the magical applications, always ending with a little prayer, a little blessing, a little something. Great way to kick off the day on this end for me, but certainly we're having a lovely time over there. I love my patrons. We're having a lot of fun building a lovely community over there. So if you want the deeper experience, the more magic, more miracles, more mysticism, more mal, as well as access to all of the extended readings that I do, all in one place, past, present, and future, come Patreon on Patreon with the Archangel of Lions, Mark Angelo Lyons. You can call me Mal. Meow. Hey, my Leonines. 5th housers. Oh my god, I love my Leos. Hope you are all well, but it is time to look at your life purpose as work, career, and vocation. If you're new to the channel, this is a 3-level of power reading. There's a link in the description box to a YouTube video called The 3 Levels of Power, hosted by a little lecture by Carolyn Myss. That's MYSS. She's a PhD, author of Anatomy of the Spirit and Sacred Contracts and Entering the Castle, and I could go on. These are her archetype cards that we're going to start off with. So the 3 levels of power is a set of 3 archetypal lenses to look at many different aspects of life, in this case your life purpose, to become more fulfilled, right? To align your work, career, your vocation. There are chakras involved. I'll explain it as we go. Other than that, it is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, check your other signs. Standard YouTube reading rules apply. And do check your other signs, because one might really feature what I call your leverage point, right? So for some, your sun sign, it might be your work. For your vocation, it could be your moon sign. It could be your Venus or your rising in creative. It can move around, right? Because if you kind of align one, the other 2 tend to align because it's all really one thing, your life purpose. 13 cards in total, so let's do this. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will, and I will do the very best that I can to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace to bring your life purpose into alignment so you can play along and have fun with it, hopefully, in the majority, right? And as you do that, because of the quantum entanglement and the unity and all that stuff, you're helping this planet become more fulfilled and everyone on it to move a little bit closer, because every day is a winding road. We get a little bit closer. Shall we? Enough explanation. Let's do some divination. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Okay. Using the Caroline Myss archetype deck, I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine, the angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of the General Assembly, the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, the spirit animals and totems, Lord Ganesha, remover of obstacles himself, as well as the pantheons of all pantheons, all traditions, lineages, and cultures. Please, one card in clarity for the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Watching this video, receiving this reading, I need 3 actual Caroline Myss archetype cards. What is the dominant 8th chakra soul power that they are developing? Part of their sacred contract. The 8th chakra shifts the energy of all of the chakras underneath it, what they attract, what they repel in their electromagnetic field. Maybe not always getting them what they want, but always getting them what they need to move in a more fulfilling direction in their lives. So we're going to lay them down work, career, vocation, but we're going to read them vocation, career, work. Give us what's going on for them, 8th chakra of their work. First level of power, physical world. Lower 3 chakra, dominant, how they survive, their survival intuition. And we've got the queen, oh queen, work. All right, a feminine family archetype has nothing to do with bodily gender. Please, for their vocation, 2nd level of power, personal level of power, heart, throat, 3rd eye, crown chakra, dominant, the internal world, the feminine energy. This one's masculine, this one's feminine in terms of yin and yang. First level is yang, this one's yin. Dominant 8th chakra archetype there for their hunger, their passion, their thirst, their creativity, for their creative part of it. Woohoo, you got the damsel. 2 feminine family archetypes. There are 9 different families. So, a damsel queen. I don't know, we're at a little bit of a... I think we're picking up a little bit of a Cinderella vibe here, because she did end up queen eventually. Let's look, please, then, pantheons of the divine for their vocation, their spiritual calling, 3rd level of power, visionary, intuition, their spiritual mystical power, the star that calls them forward on the path for this timeless read. Wow. Okay. You got the saboteur. I know it sounds horrible, but all archetypes, regardless of what they sound like, are neutral, right? It's a scale of toxic to healthy, shadow to light, pain to peace, lead to gold. I like speaking the language of symbolic spiritual alchemy. So there's not enough room on the card to put a saboteur and empowerer, one who empowers themselves and others. So like I said, we're laying them down this way, but we're going to read them this way from the spirit down into form. So this is a survival family archetype. Don't feel bad that you got it, because everybody has the 4 survival archetypes. It's how we learn how to survive, the soul power of survival in the physical world. So it's interesting that it's in your vocation. Your vocation may very well be about empowering people, but everybody gets this one. So the shadow attribute is what's on the table to heal here. The light is what you're shooting for. Again, no one's 100% shadow, no one's 100% light, except, the Dalai Lama we always cut slack for, and others of that ilk. So let me read you what's on here. The shadow attribute induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others, and we all do it, right? There's something that you really, really, really want, but your fear gets in the way, so you drop the ball, right? Because it's a lesson of empowerment. Empowerment linked to life-changing decisions, usually. The light attribute highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. Look, I am, at the time of this timeless recording, I think we're about to put some money down on a house in Saratoga. I'm so excited. I'm moving, right? But I'm unafraid. I'm brave as fuck. I am Mal-El of Krypton, the last gay top of Krypton, right? We're rare across the universe, apparently. So, empowering myself has to be a daily gig, doing what I do for a living. Try being a professional mystical witch on Long Island moving to Saratoga. So this is about empowering yourself, but this is about spiritual empowerment and how you survive in the world. But shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace. What are the decisions you're making? Are they the wisest, most loving, most empowered decisions? So the Daughters of the Moon, the Heart, Third Eye Crown card there is going to be interesting. In your career, your creative intuition, like I said, you got 2 feminine family archetypes, the damsel. So I want you to think Cinderella for a hot second, right? Sorry, the lighting and yellow print, the shadow attribute, waiting for a knight to provide for you, and that's K-N-I-G-H-T, not a J-Lo song. Waiting for a knight to provide, maybe Christopher Knight, to provide for you. Seduction by romantic illusions. Now, I know the romance card was just, word was just said, but now put that in terms of a career, a romantic career. Look up the original meanings of the words, right? Romantic. You might find some more details in there that are more specific to you. What you're shooting for, understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. The light attribute is essentially Drew Barrymore in Ever After, right? She rescued her own self. By the time the prince showed up, she was like, hi. I love her. I love Drew Barrymore. Kind of looks like her actually a little bit in this card now that I come to look at it. Get the Caroline Myss archetype deck or just look it up online. It does kind of look like her. So, damsels are put in towers and protected, right? To damsel, I have a nice touch of the damsel archetype, usually only in romantic context, but maybe there is something romantic going on here in your career. We'll see. That's where we got a lot more cards to hit the table. This is 8th chakra. This could be anything manifested in physical form. But darling, you have the Queen, Her Majesty. Oh yes, Your Majesty. No, Your Majesty. How low would you like us to go, Your Majesty? The Queen archetype is so dominant on planet Earth, and I just don't mean women. Drag queens alone, right? It's so empowering. It's the regal feminine. So the shadow attribute, if you've ever seen, I've confronted this in all sorts of different genders and gender preferences and choices and all of that. The shadow attribute becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling, and demanding. Off with their heads, right? Absolutely. The light attribute radiates, Leo. Radiates. It's the sun. It radiates. Radiates the regal feminine. Uses her benevolent authority to protect others. So I want you to think about a lion's pride. Look, my last name is Lyons, L-Y-O-N-S, right? My name, Mark Angelo Lyons, means the Archangel of Lions, which is Archangel Ariel. It's a long story, so, I got a lot of Leo vibe in me overall. So think of the protective mother lion, right? It's like, yes, the male lion, the masculine lion, the king of the jungle, king of the forest, right? All of that, certainly protective, but who is actually doing the work? The females, right? So that feminine energy here is just lovely. So to radiate in physical form, but you got to look at how you're empowering or disempowering yourself spiritually or others spiritually. And this damsel has a little question mark on it for me. So let's go deeper. That's the most we talk about any of these cards, except when I get to the last card down, we're using the Whispers of Lord Ganesha to help you remove obstacles in all of this. How exciting. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Yes, indeed. I call upon my goddesses of fire, the sign of Leo. Powers of the South, please, using the Daughters of the Moon Tarot for the feminine energy, the internal, right? These are the 8th chakra. We're looking at heart, throat, third eye, crown dynamic, the psychological world, certainly the world behind the eyes, for the work, career, vocation, for the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in their work. They've got the Queen in the 8th chakra. What's going on behind the scenes, behind their eyes in this timeless read? 3 of Cups, bonding. We'll get to that. That's friendly. Very heart chakra dominant, I would think. In their career, they've got the Damsel. This is the heart, throat, third eye, crown level of power, what they hunger, what they thirst for, that passion, that creativity, their creative intuition. And we've got the 8 of Pentacles, the learner. The 8 of Pentacles is, putting your head down and getting to work. But I love this card. It's a crone teaching a maiden how to weave a blanket, and there's one here in the background. She's proven her work over decades and decades. She's passing it along. So this, of course, would put you more in the position, because of the damsel, of being the maiden rather than the crone, right? So you're learning stuff, but when it's earth element, heart, third eye, crown, it can be in any of them because it's about wisdom. Wisdom is not knowledge. Knowledge is cheap. It's, well, maybe it depends on how you have to get that knowledge, but it's through life experience that turns it into wisdom. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom. So you've already got everything you need to learn in your career inside of you. Well, at least at an 8, not quite at the 10. But that feels really, really good. You know, it's like if you can keep the humility to say, hey, I'm still learning, just inside yourself. Well, we'll see what happens on the outside in the next 3 cards. But then I think the Damsel can actually probably really enjoy this if you enjoy the learning process. All right, my goddesses, I got the Saboteur, Empowerer, and in the title we're saying the Empowerer because the Saboteur tends to spook people. Please, in their vocation. Now, any of the survival archetypes in the vocation position says that there is an element of survival here, how they survive in the physical world, but with spiritual mystical power. So please, what's behind the scenes there? Heart, third eye, crown, and this 8th chakra dominant level of power. The Lovers. Now look, I know we got another reference to romance here. Let's not go there just yet, because the Lovers card is not only so much about romance, it's about life-changing decisions, and usually not one. It's like a period, like a stage of your life that you are in, reason, season, or lifetime. Aphrodite, however, is the name on the card. So, you know, when it's a major arcana card in this type of reading, it's all 4 chakras, heart, third eye, crown, all at once. So there is a big decision here that you have to bring together. The genius of your third eye, the unconditional love and progress of your heart chakra. So throat chakra, you get to express yourself. And of course the crown chakra is in there. And I would think that would be highlighted considering it's in your vocation. The Damsel with the Learner, like I said, we kind of went deeper into that because that really feels like this might very well be your leverage in this reading to help you make that life-changing decision. But with the Queen, you see. With the Queen, with the 3 of Cups, this is emotional bonding, that there are friendships, there is more of a friend. 3s are about a solid foundation that can be built upon, like a tripod. A 4-legged table will wobble, a 3-legged won't. It's like the perfect distribution of weight. So you put that in emotional terms here, this is friendly, this is fun, and it is of course celebratory. So, you know, a queen emotionally bonded, that's definitely going to give her a sense of protecting those in her charge, right? Radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. The subjects, as it were. Like, you know, sounds like a boss. Sounds like a boss. Just does. So if you are a boss, that makes sense. If you're not the boss, then look at your areas in your physical survival life. How that queen shows up. Like, where do you bring your regality? I mean, you're Leo. We're known for being regal. Can't help it. Incarnated that way. All right, let's see what this looks like on the outside. Lower 3 chakra dynamic, using the mythic tarot, the yang, right? What appears on the outside, either you from the outside looking in at yourself horizontally, or, you know, that way, or you looking out at a person, place, or thing, because the lower 3 chakra is about relationships in the physical world. Root chakra, groups, tribes, your kingdom, your queendom, your family, your genetic heritage, your political party, your favorite band. I've been using this as an example. Are you now or ever have you been a deadhead? Well, that's a community, so that's a root chakra. Second chakra, one-on-one relationship to another person or thing, money, sex, power, and creativity, big time. When you get that fire in your belly, that's what they're talking about. And solar plexus, usually for Leo, is really important. Self-esteem. Self-awareness, your own personal power, your honor code, your integrity, what you will, what you won't, what you do, what you don't, your boundaries and all that stuff, how you feel about yourself, as well as your gut intuition that no one else gets but you in that moment, hence your self-esteem. Let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Let him have it. Still point. As I call upon my gods of fire, sign of Leo, powers of the South, please, 3 cards in clarity. Work to vocation. What's going on? Lower 3 chakras for the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. They got the Queen in their work. 8th chakra, 3 cups. This feels lovely intuitively. I'm not feeling any flies. There's no black flies in their Chardonnay. So what's going on there? Lower 3 chakras, inside out, outside in. Ooh, 7 of Swords. Okay, we'll talk about that. That's in the physical world. That makes sense. Survival. What's going on in their career? Lower 3 chakras. Damsel in the 8th. Learner on the inner. Show us what's going on the outer. The Star. This is your leverage. If it's Major Arcana in this type of reading, it's all 3 chakras at once, and the Sun is a star, just as, right? Ruled by the Sun, Leo. And in their vocation, we got the Saboteur, Empowerer, with the Lovers on the inner, all about life-changing decisions. Please, what's on the outer there? For this timeless work, career, vocation read, 5 of Pentacles. I think I've got a line on this. Well, love has got a line on you. Let's really look at this. There is an opportunity for you to empower yourself as a result of a physical change. We're starting with that, a physical change, because the 5s are numbers of change, being left out in the cold, being bereft, not having money. Well, what that's doing is driving you into yourself to make choices and decisions along with your spiritual empowerment or disempowerment. We all go through it. Everybody goes through it. Hey man, I got a story to tell someday about my career. I want to write a book about my career. No one else can write a book, a biography they might write after I croak. But my autobiography, my career reads like fiction, and I'm a mystic, right? So my schemata for this is usually mystic, teacher, artist, president, right? Boss, because I'm the president of the company, and I get to align them every day to the best of my ability. So yeah, of course, there have been good times and bum times. I've seen them all, and my dear, I'm still here, right? Elaine, stretchy. All right, so, you know, that's intense. But if you are dealing with lack, limitation, being left out in the cold, abandoned, neglected, or if there is just a physical change going on in your life that has left you at odds, there are empowering, life-changing decisions to make. Hence, looking at how you survive in the world with the Saboteur Empowerer archetype makes sense. In the career, we've got a damsel wishing on a star, but hopefully what that damsel is going to do is follow that high vibrational spiritual guidance. The star, to me, is the highest vibrational card in the tarot, because there's the moon, the sun, and then the star, right? You can't, if you use the symbolic altitude, I guess, of it all. I don't know if that's the right word once you leave the atmosphere, but whatever. So there is hope, there is guidance, there is grace here. And like I said, I mean, if the sun card came up, that would have had a different meaning, but yes, it would be Leo. Instead, the learner on the inner is shining on the outer, or the person you are learning from, or the phase of learning that you are in, is lit and spiritual and inspired and inspires hope. Neil Gaiman has an interesting take on Pandora's box. That's what this is in the Mythic Tarot, right? This is Daedalus sneaking away, being locked out of the castle. This is different. This is, you know, and it's really good. There's a video on YouTube. Neil Gaiman answers questions about mythology. It's really good. He says, first of all, I can't do his accent. I won't. I can do the general area, but I love him too much. He said, first of all, it's a jar. And he said the only thing that doesn't escape is hope. And he goes, and maybe that's one of the Krilla's tricks, because with all of the evils of the world released from Pandora's jar, that they torture us even further with hope. Which I was like, oh, that's dark, but that has a certain resonance, right? So, look, you're learning. You're on a creative path here, but as a damsel, you're going to have to rely upon healthy romance, and that could be a romance with art. That could be a romance with your career. That could be that your career is leading you to romance in the way that, you know, most people want, at least in YouTube readings. So keep an eye on that, right? It's okay to be hopeful, but, you know, back it up with faith in your contract that you're going to get you what you need, not always what you want. And sometimes they're the same thing, and that's lovely. Now, let's look over here at the Queen. We got in your work, the Queen. 3 cups on the inner. I love that. But we got 7 of swords on the outer. Now look, it's not always lying. It could be. It's often about self-preservation, but it is definitely a mental card. What I'm getting on this is, yeah, there's some gossip going around. There's some hidden, sneaky stuff going around in terms of information here that may not be all true. So for you to really be friendly, be a friendly queen, right? Be a friendly queen, a heart open, because there are emotional bonds here. That would also say, in terms of making this decision, which is about the physical world, 5 of Pentacles on the outer, that in terms of the 7 of Swords, be very extremely diplomatic, right? Be regal. Why, Lady Evington, how kind of you to come. There, I just gave you like 3 different movies at once, right? Okay, all about Eve. Eve, my understudy. Of course I knew, right? It's like there is that poise. There is that Betty Davis eyes of it all. And it doesn't mean you have to let on everything that you know, or that there are feelings here. Now, I will also say, with the 3 of Cups on the inner there, the Lovers here and the Star, there may be a romantic thread woven through this, but that's not ultimately what the reading is about. But deal with it diplomatically. Let's leave that there. All right, chakras are on the table. Let's get you a mantra for the chakras. The Metcon Healing Mantra deck. 1 for each. We're not bookie book reading these. It would take too long. But if you notice, we're going to put the titles down, 1, 2, 3. Read it that way, and then we're going to flip it and look at the mantras, 1, 2, 3. And it's quite amazing, I find, when I do it for myself. Let's see what happens. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the ascended masters of life's purpose through the archetypal levels of power, work, career, and vocation, for the Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video and receiving this reading, they have got the Queen in their work, 3 cups on the inner, 7 of Swords on the outer, grounding my energy. It is safe to be in my body. All right. For the damsel in the 8th of their career, they have got the 8 of Pentacles, the learner on the inner. They have the wisdom. They're just working it, right? And with the Star on the outer, this could feel like somebody who has emotional connections to people in work, but want to go off on their own in their career, but they're building up to get and doing that. But they might be waiting for someone to rescue them. So let's see if we can Drew Barrymore this. What's the perfect healing mantra there to help them bring that into alignment? Resolving anger. Conflict reminds me when I need more space for myself. And I think if there is conflict going on here, 7 of Swords, oh, that can be kind of like, no, everything's great, everything's fine. While you take space for yourself, we'll go deeper into that because of that 5 of Pentacles going on. All right, Ascended Masters. You know, it's funny because now that, yes, there is leverage here, but the Saboteur with life-changing decisions. Saboteur in the 8th, the Lovers card on the inner heart, third eye crown, bringing that into alignment to make the most empowering, loving, wise decisions they can make with that 5 of Pentacles on the outer. What's the healing mantra for that? Anchoring the light. The light is always within me. So let me show you how I do this for myself, because I always pick more than one, depending on a situation. So in your work, you're grounding your energy. In your career, you're resolving anger. Feels like somebody dropped the ball here somewhere. And in your vocation, you're anchoring the light, which makes total sense. So this one feels right in alignment, right? That one feels really, really clear. But now let's do the mantra, because that's just the title of the mantra. Here is the mantra itself. So in your vocation, the light is always within me. That's the mantra. In your career, conflict reminds me when I need more space for myself. You're going to follow that guidance, that grace, to tap into that 8 of Pentacles that you have inside of you, right? Because if you're going to match aggression with aggression, not the most loving, wise, empowered decision you can make, particularly for your career, your hope, you're following your star. Now look, there's always conflict following the star. There just is, right? Because it's not much of a journey without some kind of conflict. And then in your work, it's safe to be in my body. Being grounded, being centered, being present, to really pay attention perhaps to what you are getting intuitively with this double feminine energy here in this work, career, vocation situation. Because I'll say the 7 of Swords, and these are the outside stuff, 7 of Swords at work, but 5 of Pentacles in vocation, that's troubling. Not troubling, a challenge. That's a better word. So I am kind of getting that this might be the easier one to start with in terms of getting leverage. It's like, I need some space for myself. I need to take space, right? So that you can go in and connect to that light within you. Now, I'm not talking airy-fairy light. Light equals truth. The truth is always within you. So you might need to pull back from this, and you might need to do a sneaky. You might need to be like, I'll be right back. 8 years later, right? But it's safe to be in your body. So grounding your energy means you are here and now. You're being mindful. You're being there in the present moment. And with that 3 of Cups there could just be a lot of emotional bonds going on there that you may or may not want to share what's actually going on. Or you may be kind of feeling like there's a lot of weird in the air. There's something sneaky, like gossip, right? Something like that. So it's like, no, it's safe to be in my body. It's safe to be in my body. Lions don't back down usually, right? So, but they can hold their ground, right? They can ground themselves as well as take the space that they need. One last card. Whispers of Lord Ganesha. Ganesha is the Hindu god of success and prosperity. He's just lovely. But in the West, for some reason, he's mostly known as the remover of obstacles, the elephant-headed god. He's lovely, and I have to say it's really an honor to work with his vibration in these readings, because it's lovely. I did the same with the Kuan Yin Oracle and the Archangel Michael Blue Angel Oracle. So this is the only book one that we're doing to help you remove the obstacles here. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Last card down as I call to the beloved Lord Ganesh, Lord Ganesha. Please, one card in clarity. For the Leo Collective, Sun, Moon, their new cards, Rising, Venus signs, watching this video, receiving this reading for their work, career, vocation. What is your guidance, your grace, your extension of love, wisdom, and power, your oracle message to help them remove obstacles from their life, like the 3 atoms in lead that are obstacles to gold, right? The process they're going through to do that, to have the most fulfilling life, to fulfill their life purpose, which helps everybody. It can be delayed but not prevented. They could do it this life, next life, 10 lives from now, up to them, which is the freedom that we do have. So please, what's your oracle message for the Leos in this timeless read? Cultivation, which is part of creativity. Cultivation. Let me play in a sitar. Oh, I love this deck. But I don't work with decks I don't love. I buy them, and sometimes they're womp-womps, but I haven't done that in a while. Card number 37. Cultivation, like cultivating arts, right? Cultivating culture, which is redundant. Cultivation. This is all one page? Oh no, it's like a page and a little bit on the next one. Good. They usually go deeper. Please take a nice deep breath. Card number 37, cultivation. Listening to music can help heal, encourage, and nurture your soul. Rock and roll. Your spirituality is an essential part of who you are, and it forms a framework for your world. Music resonates with the human spirit. At the heart of humanity is the song of the soul. Music has the power to unite communities, cultures, and civilization. Listening to music can heal, hearten, and support your soul. Darling, I gotta dance every day to do this work, because if I'm not feeling it, I can't do it, right? So a good Spotify playlist, a little Stevie Nicks, Sheryl Crow, Indigo Girls, whatever. Usually 80s and 90s mixes, just grooving out to Duran Duran this morning. It does. It uplifts me. And I'm an artist, so it keeps me going. Studies have found that musical tones communicate with and have an energetic impact on the cells and organs of the human body. Absolutely the truth. It is believed that the cells vibrate and essentially have their own musical intonations. Listening to music can help heal and uplift your energy. You may find that tuning into uplifting or calming music, you create space for greater contemplation, and in turn gain more clarity about what you are creating in your life. I call it audio tarot, and I just put on some random playlist and I'm going along my day, and it's just like I'm thinking about something and there's the answer coming right at me externally. Interesting thing. It can also bring about a stronger connection to your higher self or to oneness, which I would think with this stuff going on here in your vocation, that would be helpful. Music cultivates community as sound fosters communication and greater unity. Cultivation is a continual process that develops, encourages, and nurtures. There is a spiritual connection that forms between the music and the listener. Ganesha is inviting you to incorporate music into your life in a way that will augment your spiritual expansion. Listen to soothing music while you prepare for your day. Move away from the noise and excessive electronics and digital images and back to a more melodic existence. That could be indicated there with that Seven of Swords too. Take time to sit and listen to music. Doing this can shift your energy to a clearer and more receptive state. But honestly, I'm more Debbie Harry, Chrissy Hine, Sheryl Crow than Enya at this point in my life. It's like, I love rock and roll. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. Crimson Clover, over and over. And honestly, the Bananarama version of Venus is a personal favorite as well as a prayer. Look, you are cultivating something here. If you're a musician, this is your read, right? Because I could see that. I mean, the queen in your work, grounding your energy, feeling that heart connection. If you're in the music business, but the Seven of Swords, sneaky, oh yeah, right? But really any kind of artist. But artist isn't always performative or fine art, right? It's about how you communicate your inspiration into physical form in some way, shape, or form. So the anchoring the light part is really, I guess what they're doing is they're sort of splitting the leverage on this. It depends on who's watching this, but the leverage certainly of making a life-changing decision, bringing the heart, third eye crown together, right, to empower yourself and others In a Five of Pentacles situation where you're anchoring the light is always within me, that would obviously shift the whole thing. But also the creative lane here, this middle lane, personal level of power, second level of power, the damsel with the wisdom inside of you, the learner, just got to allow yourself to be the learner, following the star, following the guidance, the grace, listen to the music. That's what this cultivation feels like. It feels like just expose yourself to new music, go back to your favorites, right? And take space. It's going to help you resolve some anger here, which might very well be about a Five of Pentacles situation with the Seven of Swords situation combined. All right, so here's what's going to happen. Even though I just sort of did it, we're going to do a blessimation, a combination of a blessing and a summation. It's a word that one of my patrons came up with, and it really works. And at the end of that, we'll chat a little bit if you want to hang around, where I release the Leo Collective, even though I'm part of it, by letting the goofy fly. Because I keep it so restrained, as you can tell. Well, that's at Mars conjunct Leo rising, darling. I'm the fun one. Torch of Archangel Ariel. Got to do it with hardware. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Yeah. I call to the collective pantheons of the divine for the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this work, career, vocation, timeless read. May they be blessed with all that they need so that they can highlight their fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would make to their lives so that they can make more loving, wise, empowered, life-changing decisions to empower themselves and everyone else around them in a situation that might be changing. Maybe abruptly, maybe it is impoverishment, maybe it is rejection, being left out in the cold in some way, shape, or form, but so that they can anchor the light. The situation is happening so that they can really tune into that higher truth that is truth for everybody, that the light is always within them. So that would certainly be the star energy here showing itself on the outer, so that in their career they can understand the nature of healthy romance and be inspired with the star to rely on themselves. It does feel like there's sneaky going on here because they have the wisdom inside of them, as long as they acknowledge that they will keep always learning, right? That they've got wisdom, but there's still more. I mean, that's part of the cultivation process too, learning how to weave line by line, thread by thread, and the guidance, the grace, their radiance, the light is within them, and it is showing out, I would think. And with that stability of the Eight of Pentacles in process there, but with the anger that is absolutely understandable here, it would make sense that conflict would remind them that they need more space for themselves and help them take that space. Because in the work situation, you got the Queen archetype. You know, it's just all archetypes are horrible in their shadow and they're magnificent in their light. So may they radiate. Again, light is always within me. The star, radiate. We'll call that a semi-triple whammy. Radiating the regal feminine, using their benevolent authority to protect others, because there must be heart bonds here. There must be emotional connections here. That still feels really good, but it feels like there's a, I wouldn't call it the moon's kind of the tarot card, the major arcana card of the moon, but there is some sneaky or gossip, and it might not be true. And so what do they need to do? Help them ground their energy, because it's safe for them to be in their body while they cultivate, while they listen to the music, while they tune themselves to other frequencies and vibrations, taking space for themselves so that they can make this life-changing decision in an empowered way when they are ready to do it. And that the music that they need come to them through the audio tarot, right? A little radio goes driving by in somebody's car and you hear the answer to the question. To follow the musical path through this could be a real blessing, not just on them, but on everyone around them. So may they be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, vocation, so that they can fulfill their sacred contracts bit by bit like everybody else. And as a result, move this planet from a less lead-oriented timeline to a more golden-oriented lifetime where everybody benefits for the well-being of all and with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. So would it be. So it is. It was a good read. Did you like it? Like it. Hit the thumbs up. Help the other Leos find that. I love the music part of this, though. And if you want more of me here on YouTube, just subscribe. I don't care about my numbers so much anymore, but it just does help people find some lines, like the 8 card draws and the 5 card draw lunar reads that I do could easily plug into all of this. And if you want the deeper experience, the magic, the miracles, the mysticism, the mal, come Patreon on Patreon. It really is wonderful. And if you are an artist, do look into Patreon for yourself. It is incredibly freeing. There is community guidelines, but it ain't only fans, right? Not even for Mal-El of Krypton, the last K-top of Krypton. And I love saying that, but only in the Leo reads. So wishing you all the very, very best. Oh, we forgot to make the thing disappear. If you want to come Patreon on Patreon. And if you want to book me for a private reading, there is a link in the description box. Booking a reading with Mel explains it all for you, just like Clarissa, because I miss old Nickelodeon. Other than that, hang in there, shine your light at full capacity, do the best you can, and ground your energy. It's safe to be in your body. I love you. Good luck. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.